Hello and welcome to this restorative yoga practice. This practice today, we're going to be doing just one pose and two variations of it, and it's about preparing to rest, something we don't do very often, and we don't give ourselves the time to rest properly. You may just sneak the odd little bits of yoga in, but this is, and some meditations every now and again, but this is about really having conscious rest time. And carving some time out each time of the day is so crucial and essential to maintaining good health at the moment. So this takes an awful lot of effort, and you will have to raid your laundry cupboard to try and get this together. And I want you to see it as rest and you are really worth this. So as you can see, there's lots of props here. The way we've set this up at the moment is we've got towels and blankets, and you'll notice the bolster. So if you've no bolster, you're going to have to try and see if you can find some long pillows or cushions that can formulate on this ski slope effect. So you've got the ski slope effect by popping two blocks on an angle underneath, and the blocks on the angle underneath will support the pressure there in this. And the thing is, if you've no bricks, blocks or anything, then you can try and use thick hardback books to try and create that, as long as you've got that space to lean on. We're then going to use a long bath sheet, and you're going to fold it in a way so it's long and snake the long side of it, and then that's going to lay down the spine of there, and it's going to come to the bottom, and it needs to be that it cushions the base of your spine, because the tailbone and the base of the spine is one of the crucial areas for trying to get the nervous system to activate that parasympathetic and get into relaxation. Also, you're going to need another large bath sheet, and that's going to be for the head pillow space. And this is going to be folded again into sections, fold it in half, then fold it into quarter, then lay it down there and fold that across the top. And this is the pillow area. And this is going to make sure that your neck and shoulders feel really comfortable. You're then going to need two large bath sheets again that are going to be rolled up, and they're going to be for the arms to rest on. And you're going to be in a position where your hands and wrists are above the elbows, so that then again just gives that whole collapsing of the shoulders and resting across the chest. The blanket and the eye pillow are for bringing comfort at the end. I've then used a little cushion to pop underneath the back of my knees with a towel on the top. But if you've got more towels, I just ran out of bath sheets at this point. If you've got more towels, then you could roll another one up. That needs to be high enough for you to put your knees underneath. The one at the end is to cushion the back of the heels, but it won't be that. It'll be the part where the ankle, it won't be the back of the ankles, it'll be higher up on the tendon area, so it softens that area and lets that also send signals to the brain to rest. Seems an awful lot this, but it's really worth it. The other two blankets, or towels as I'm using, they're for use in the second phase of it. So the pose we're doing is called Supta Baddha Konasana, and in classroom and in yin practice and in lots of relaxation and shavasana, you've done this pose, but you've only ever done it for like 5 minutes maximum, 2 or 3 minutes generally. It is the queen or king, of all restorative poses, and the reason being that it seriously dials down the nervous system. It seriously gets you into a state of relaxation. We're going to hold it for a good 5 to 10 minutes, and in that time of me holding it and getting into that pose, and it might take me a few moments to get into it because it's a balancing act, and you're going to have to spend the time to prepare all this. Once you're in it, you're then going to just really rest into that space, and it's then Dave will speak and give us some indication as to how you should be feeling and what you should be doing within that pose. And you don't have to only be there for these 5 minutes that I'm going to be there, because I'm then going to adjust from Supta Baddha Konasana 1 to 2 and show you the difference in the poses. When you've gone from that 1 to 2, Dave will read again some of the experience and the sensations as you move. And you might find that you can't do the second one, it isn't restorative enough to your body. So again, we're all different, we're all unique, and it is about you listening to your body. What I will say is that it is hard to just really switch off, and that's because we are totally on that mode of constantly keeping going. And again, we're bombarded by so much at the moment that we really need to give ourselves this clean time to just totally rest. So no music, block out the external world. If you haven't got the eye pillows, then maybe use a little weighted flannel. Make sure that you can feel the sense of the eyes really closing in heaviness, and making sure that you block out everything. So it is hard for some of you, I know, to get total peace, but try and do this when you can. The best time to do it, believe it or not, is in the day. And I know if you're working, that's totally not doable. The evening, you'll probably more than likely fall asleep in the pose once you get resting in it. Because if you are exhausted, then that's the first thing you'll do. It's a bit like when you do your yoga nidras. You automatically, if you're suffering exhaustion and fatigue, you fall asleep in that. The thing with restorative poses, they're supposed to restore you physically and consciously in the mental mind as well. So the only way to do that is to stay awake and be conscious so that you can absorb everything. So try to stay awake through it. And if you do love it that much and you find that it gets you into a good place, then do it regularly, do it daily, and more importantly, hold it for longer periods than 5 minutes, a good 10 or 15. I held it for 15 or 20 minutes, I think, the other night when I first put the props together and did the pose. I could have stayed there forever, and poor Dave had to suffer silence in the whole house while I just rested. But it did feel like I was floating on air afterwards. It did feel like I'd been comforted, and it really is worth giving yourself that time. So there's no technical fandango things to this other than you must be still, you must rest, and you must restore and renourish the whole of the body and the mind. And obviously you must set up these props. So let's get to it. Let's make sure I can describe to you as you come into the pose what you've got to do. So the first thing you've got to try and do is get your bottom at the very edge of the cushions that you've created a ski slope on, and make sure that they stay up. So let's hope that they stay up, because if not, I'm going to have to move things. And the legs are going to come out in front, and you're going to lean back onto that. So let's come to this point. Back of the knees go on top, and the ankles, the ankles go, that the cushion or the blankets or the towel at the very end, your heel goes just off it, so you can feel it on the back of the tendon space there. And the bottom should come up to the very end of that. So adjust, like I'm going to have to move a bit closer to it. So adjust wherever you have to be to find and feel the perfect spot for relaxation there. When you come to rest back on it, you've got to make sure that you are leaning with the head supported, and it's got to feel like you're totally absorbed by the cushions and the bolsters, the blocks, whatever you're using. Now for the arm space. These rolled up ones here, these are to help you get the position right for the elbows and the hands. So you're going to bring these rolled up cushions on top. When you bring them on top, you hold the arms so that you're resting the elbows back on this space. And this is beautiful, actually. This just feels wonderful. And try not to grab hold, try and relax the arm. Make sure the elbows are below the wrists and the hands, and just settle there. Now, at this point, when you get to that space, you've got to gently grab the eye mask or flannel, and you've got to get yourself a towel. Now, if you've got a beautiful partner who can do this for you, but he's filming at the minute, so he can't, you would make sure they cover you up beautifully from head to toe, so that you're in a most comfortable space of feeling warm. And the weight of the blanket, again, is a nice little bit of a touch to the whole feel of this. So cover from the toes right the way, which is a difficult one to do. Cover from the toes right the way down to the shoulders, and make sure that your blanket covers every inch of you. Again, make sure those hands are up on top and the elbows go below. And then you're in the pose. Eye mask pillow on. That's me. Now settled. And really really going to enjoy this for the next few minutes while Dave gently discusses and talks you through exactly how you should be in this pose.
Now settle into the props, swallow and let your teeth part inside your lips. Make a conscious sweep of your body and access your comfort level. Be sure you have covered yourself with a blanket, and now turn to your breath. Imagine you're watching the eternal rise and fall of ocean swells, gently moving up and down. Let your breath embody that gentle rhythm. Now begin to sink further and further inside your body, into the depths of your sensation. Offer your mind a vacation from the tyranny of constant thinking, constant judging, and constant planning. Keep returning your focus to bodily sensation and let go completely. Rest safely and easily in this surrender. Now the Supta Baddha Konasana will dramatically reduce your level of stress, especially when it is the first pose in your restorative practice. Pay attention to this change in your inner state and notice how agitation and ambition are not there in the same way. My term for this state is spaciousness. It is as if you have discovered a great space within you where contentment can begin to express itself. And note the savour and lovely experience.
Now to gently move into the second pose, you will draw those feet in and bend the knees out to the side. And the knees, if they need supporting, the two rolled up towels that they left at the side, they can come underneath the outside of the knees, so that you can really make sure under the thighs that you're supporting those. And this is the second form, which is probably the one that everybody remembers, is when the knees drop out to the side and the soles of the feet come together. And I will put some pictures on of the props, and I will put some pictures on of it finally set up. Again, we're just going to rest for another few minutes here, and we're going to give it 5 minutes, and Dave will indicate, he's going to read through this second phase, how things might feel, and then he'll give us the nod as to when to come out from this final pose. Don't forget to hold onto the towels and get the elbows to rest down on them.
You are now resting in a round, supported and open position. Allow yourself to trust the props and let them do the work. Pay attention to any tension in your jaw or your throat. Let your cheeks hang beneath your cheekbones. Both your lower limbs and your upper limbs are rounded, and your hands and feet face inwards as well. Your chin is dropped. All the edges of your body are energetically flowing towards your center. Let yourself become an introvert. Invite yourself to experience the ocean of stillness that always lives at the center of your being. Float there in comfort and ease, and just be.
remember you can hold the pose a lot longer. And also remember, if you found the second version with the legs out in that O shape, you can always go back and revert back to the first one. So if you're finding any tension in the knees or the hips and it doesn't feel good and you want to revert back, revert back. So just slowly, if you remove the eye mask, come back into the space. And just gently begin to bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet to the ground. And slowly release the two blankets or towels from your side. Remove the blanket and just slowly roll to the side, which is easiest for you. Roll with the knees, roll with the hands, and just gently push yourself up until you're ready to sit back up, get back into that space of living again. So again, I would use a longer space of time than that if you've got that chance, and it totally is relaxing. One thing I found was that I was holding on to the towels at the side of me, then I realised and I let go. And you have to really trust the props, so make sure that you've got them solid, make sure that you can relax back into that space and give yourself that time to rest. Resting and digesting, putting ourselves out of fight or flight mode, and giving the nervous system that chance to really connect, to re-strengthen itself again. So have a peaceful evening. If you're going to do this, take the time, please rest with it. Please just grab as many props, make it work for you. I'll put some pictures in which will be in before this, and then you'll get to see how it all works for you. Thank you everybody. Namaste.